Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be diving into another really interesting machine on the Vulnhub, which is development. I will put the link in the video below so that you can download it and play it on your own. The most interesting and difficult part of this machine is that there is some kinds of host detection system in place. And we cannot make, for example, like brute forcing. Even, it will cost a lot more time when we perform directory enumeration. Otherwise, we'll be locked out. So anyhow, before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Now, we can head over Linux VM to begin with. Oh, by the way, based on my practice, this machine works better with VMware workstation rather than VirtualBox. Okay, so of course, this is my personal experience or practice. So now we can head over to Linux VM. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target machine. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be net discover. Alright, as you can see over here, the IP address of the target machine could be recognized as 130. So what shall we do next? We need to perform port and surface scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already completed before, so now we can simply get out its result. Let's scroll up a bit. So as you can see over here, I took the options like scene scan, the virtual scan, default script scan, followed by the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. Then we can retrieve scanning results, whenever, just as what I'm doing now. From the nmap scanning results, we can tell the target machine has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 open ports in total. Let's take a look at them one by one. The first open port, 22, its surface is SSH or secure shell surface. And also we can get its version information, including its exact version number, 7.6. Although this version is a bit outdated, it's not easy to find its exploits. Okay, let's move on. The second open port is 113. Unfortunately, the nmap can't determine its version information because there is question mark in the end. And the next two ports, as we know, are used by Samba surface. And last one is 880, and the surface is HTTP. And as you can see over here, it's very weird. The version is IIS. Usually, such surface is running on the Windows machine, like Windows Server or any version of Windows. Fingerprints, bytes, warning. We are experimenting a host-based intrusion detection system. So probably there is some kinds of, host-based intrusion system or IDS. And, the banner has been purposefully changed or reconfigured by the administrator. So this is the possible reason why we see the version as IIS. Okay? So what are we going to do next? We are going to enumerate discovered services. So the question is where to start. Just I mentioned over and over again in my channel, if the target machine has file sharing service running, we should enumerate those services first, such as FTP, Samba, and FS. In this case, we can enumerate Samba service first. But how to enumerate Samba service? We can take some utilities. The first one is SMB client with option of uppercase L followed by the IP address of the target machine. Press enter. And we can supply password of my own machine. Okay, and then we can get to know, besides two default shares like print, IPC, we discover access share on the target machine. And the next we need to connect, or we need to have a look at this share remotely. And we can use the same command or utility with a different format. Okay, press enter, and we need to provide password one more time. We got error. Access denied. Possibly, authentication is required to access this share remotely. Okay, so the next utility I'm going to run to enumerate a Samba service is enum for Linux. Press enter. Here we do not need to supply password of my own machine or Linux. But actually, usually I will take this utility to find usernames on the target machine. In this case, this will take a bit long time than usual. The reason is there is some kinds of IDS in place on the target machine. So to save time, I'd like to interrupt this process to save time. Yes. So what are we going to next? Up to this point, we didn't get anything useful from the Samba service. It's time to enumerate. Of course, there is another port number 131. 113. So now we can use netcat to connect to. Press enter. Very sluggy. Okay, I don't think we can get anything. So now it's time to enumerate web application both manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser of Firefox to perform manual enumeration first. We can put the IP address of the target machine into the address bar. Press enter. So welcome to the development page. The many projects in this box. View some of these projects, and we find this. So this is a possible page or directory, right? We can put over here. So warning, we are experimenting a host-based intrusion detection system. And also we can find this possible username, right? We can copy and paste in here. And as usual, of course, this banner is, this false information purposefully given by the administrator of this machine or this application. And as usual, we need to check its source code. And we find this comment. So searching for development. And this is another possible directory or page. We can paste over here. We can, so, or pages or files, okay? And usernames. And also where could it be? And also here, Patrick is the head of development, okay? And we can continue our journey of enumeration. For example, we need to check whether this site has loadbox file or not. Nothing returned. Page source, which is fine. Next, we can launch Nicto to perform automatic enumeration. Again, because of IDS adopted by the target machine, this will take a very long time to complete. But to save time, and also I do not want us to be locked out. Okay, so I'd like to interrupt Nicto. And next, similarly, we can perform directory enumeration. And again, this even we cannot make UU directory enumeration. Okay. In other words, we should, we should rely on the manual enumeration. Just now we have already found the HTML pages and the development. So now we can have a look at these possible directories or pages. So HTML, and we find some pages. And I think of course we can access each of files or pages. So about Good Tech is a company founded by our director David. So maybe this is another possible username, and we can check its source code. Nothing here. So how about config? Okay, says this one. Nothing different comes back from the target machine, right? Anyhow, and this one default. So maybe we can consider taking all files back from the target machine by Python. Okay, so how to do? We can copy this address and use the Q command. Probably the target machine is dead. We have been locked out. So I think I have to restart the machine. Okay. So see you later. All right, I'll come back after restarting the target machine, and we can run this command again, and we get back this page or the content of this page, and we can do some processing. We can use AWK to extract the last column or last field. We can get out this page, and I think we can launch Python interactive environment, and we can import requests module, and we can define the base URL. We can copy from the browser And we can, maybe we need to find user agent. Otherwise, we will be locked out, right? So we can find user agent and the list of user agents. We can copy and we can copy this one. And we can user agent. Or maybe we can take it this way. I like to show you different way. I think it will be quicker. Okay, net refresh, and we can copy this request as Q command, and then we can go to this side to Python. Would be much quicker. I think we can paste in here Python, and we can copy, and then we can launch. We can launch PyCharm, right? And we can open the working directory, which is so what is our development? Let's find it here. Okay, trust this project and open in the current window. And now we can new Python file. We can call it like get pages. Okay, and we can, and also we can import time and use agent. I think this agent is good. And then we can, so I think we can open the files pages with read only mode as, okay, for line in read lines. Oh, what I'm doing? Okay, line, oh, not line, URL is, we can copy this base URL from the browser, from the address bar, put over here, and next we can indent these lines. All right, so next we can respond. Okay, response. So this should be URL plus line strip. And we can print status code. We can use format string, response status code for URL, right? And then if response status code equals 200, and then we can print out its response. Okay, and also we need to introduce delay like 1 second, and also we can print some line separator, right? Very simple code. So now we can save and run our program to retrieve all pages. So what I'm doing now is to demonstrate how to use Python to enumerate web applications, right? Python 3 and get the pages. So the first one, 80. So what's this? Title, source code, uploads. There are some interesting information. Building for this one. So what's that? We can copy and use subchef to decode, right? Binary. What's this? We can copy and other. So next, so blah blah the plus. Oh, we find this page, right? Or directory. We can copy and paste over here. The backdoor, blah blah blah. You tried some pages. Nice. I think if you want, you can download these two images. And we find another encoded data in the HTML page. So surely developed secret page is not that hard to find. Okay. So nothing else. Try harder. And also just now we didn't touch this directory, right? We can copy and paste in here. We find some more information or more pages like a test. So I think we can download this file, wget test pickup. Press enter, and now we can open up this pickup file with white shock. Some HTTP pack. Even we find this one, this hidden directory we can follow to easier understanding with this packets, we can use this way, follow HTTP. So comment blah blah blah, and we find this one, we can copy and paste over here. Also just now we found in other place, right? So now we can access this development secret page. Maybe we can close up the white shock. I do not want to open so many things at one time. And also PyCharm, we do not need it anymore. So now I think we can copy. And also just now, if you check, oh sorry, I didn't copy this important information yet. And also the registration. And as always, we need to check its source code. Source code, pcap, nothing here. So next we can access this directory. Press enter. So welcome to the development secret page. Please job by, this is the leader of this team. And we can open link in new tab. Try harder. Welcome to my profile page. But we didn't log in yet. However, we, because of the bad coding without logging, now we have already accessed his profile. And set a map. Director test page. There's nothing. So how about logout? Oh, this is login page. We can try to admin and admin. Hit enter. So the credentials works. Very weird. But we got some error. Function is deprecated in this file. We can copy. Such information sometimes is very important. Information disclosure. Okay, so now what can we do next? Patrick. Also, just now we found this page. We can copy and access to see what it's about. So, director, there is nothing for your immediate attention. Blah, blah, blah. And also, we need to check its source code. Some comments there used of blah blah blah. Okay, so what can we do next? Although we have already logged in, but we can't do very much. So we need to find some other vulnerabilities. Just now we have already discovered this disclosed information, and we can go to the Google and make some research. And I think almost the first or the second link will, give us, this exploit information. And actually, this simple text file login script has two exploits or vulnerabilities. The one is file disclosure, and the second one is remote file inclusion. And we can try the first one first. We can copy and we can copy. We can try to access password file. Nothing returned. How about we put some press enter. Nothing returned. So next we can check whether we can, whether this application is indeed vulnerable to remote file inclusion. So how to test? We can create the test file and set up web server with Python 3. And next we can access through this path. Test. However, nothing returned. So it means that in this case, this application is not vulnerable to remote file inclusion. So how about the second one, the disclosure, sensitive data disclosure? We can copy and access. Press enter, and we we get some kinds of username and encrypted password. Of course, I think this should be MD5. We can copy. I'm not sure. We can use hash identifier. Paste in here. Yeah, MD5. And you can use John Reaper or Hashcat, or alternatively, we can use, crackstation to crack them. Okay. So before we do that, I'd like to copy all usernames and passwords, although they are encrypted. So admin we can try, but so far we didn't find the log. Oh, we find, yes. So the motor bicycles, verify, crack hashes, not found. And next one, intern. Copy, crack hashes. And we find this clear text password. We can copy and paste over here. So how about this one? A fire hydrant. Yes, this one, verify. Oh, not, yeah, this one, verify one more time. Crack hashes. Not found. Not found. So how about we use the John Reaper? And we can echo. Hashes. Let's use John Reaper to crack it. Not working. MD5. let's specify the format. Sometimes it's necessary. Raw MD5. So not working. And how about the next one? Q. We can copy and clack. Traffic lights. Verify. Oh, we find the Q. Interesting. Q. So now we can try to SSH to the target machine. We can SSH like intern. So this is the problem of this machine, and you probably will encounter as well. The reason or the issue is caused by host detection system. In the real pen testing, we can use proxy chains, right? So we can, for example, we will hide our real IP address. So the real attacker or the machine of the real attacker will not be blocked. Okay, but in this case, how to do? It's not a good choice to use proxy chains because this will introduce some additional difficulties. So how to do? Maybe we can, reconfigure the IP address of the Kali Linux and then go ahead. So this will take a bit more time. See you later. All right, I'm back. I reconfigured my Kali Linux to have a different IP address. So, this is temporarily way to bypass IDS of the target machine. Okay, so we can SSH to the target machine, and then we can supply the password of this user. We can copy and paste in here. As you can see, we have already got initial foothold on the target machine. Fantastic. And now we can do some local enumeration work. Oh, so now it looks like we are within the restrict shell. We can run command cat. So we can run the question mark. So the only commands what we can execute or run is echo, help, LLL, ls, lpass. Interesting. So how to also we can get its shell type. This is the L shell. Another type of restrict shell. And next we need to bypass, we need to escape from this restrict shell. And I have already demonstrated this technique before in other videos. If you didn't follow my channel, please do it now. Thank you. So now we can use this way to escape the restrict shell. When the echo command is successful, and then run this one. Sometimes the single quotes will be ignored by such restrict shell. So then we can hit enter. So now I think we can run command. Okay, as usual, and we find something local, and we can run sudo. We cannot run sudo. Even the password. Okay. Oh, password. We have password for this user. Excuse me, we can copy. But this user may not run sudo on the development. Go to opt, go to home directory. Access, what's access? Nothing useful. Hash, bash history, var backups. Go to www directory, HTML. Loot. What's this? Please loot me. Okay, I'm going to do that. So next, I think we can upload nmap's shell script to perform automatic enumeration, right? And I've already got this script ready. And next, we need to upload this file to the target machine. And we can use wget to upload nmap's. Okay, network is unreachable. Oh, sorry, I misspelled the IP address. This should be 131. It's done, and then we need to make it executable, and then we can run it to see whether we can find something interesting which allow us to make lateral movement or privilege escalation. When we attempt to make a privilege escalation, in most cases, we should rely on the power of this script, this wonderful script. And this script can help us gather information about the machine from various aspects, such as sudo, sudo permission, binaries with SUID bit, capabilities, cron job, very, very wonderful script. But so far, I failed to get anything interesting. Process information, active ports, cron job. Some local exploits. But in this video, I'm not going to take such local exploits to elevate privilege. Okay? Actually, this is another difficulty of this machine when I did the machine the first time. Although just now I have already utilized the John Ripper to crack the password for the user, the Patrick, and also use the crackstation as well, but both failed to get a password for clear text password for this, the hash value. And we need to try different online services like this one, hashes. I think I've already used before. So now we can get the password for another user, Patrick. Otherwise, it's difficult to go ahead. And we can switch to Patrick. It works. And then, we can get the password. To root me, you need to try harder. Yes, of course. And we can run sudo. So, this current user, Patrick, can run Vim or Nano without password of root user. So, privilege escalation next would be very easy. Very easy. We can go to the website of gtfobins. Sorry, not this one. Yeah, this one. And then we can copy this to elevate. Okay, it works. So now we can navigate to root directory to grab the final flag. So I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye. Have a nice day, please.